joyful cheer. A very Merry Christmas, oh, let me hear this very Merry Christmas without old tears. Every night, every day is a happy holiday. A very Merry Christmas to you. Oh, very Merry Christmas. Oh, we'll have this year. Very Merry Christmas. I keep so near every light, every soul from every friend that comes along. Very Merry Christmas to you.
Sleigh bells are ringing out by the sea, sending a message of love and sympathy. I've been waiting by the phone, and this song will meet you at the door. This Christmas will be something unreal. Baby, I'm falling under your charm. All I ever wanted got you wrapped up in my arms, and we'll stay up all night, and the fireside is blazing bright. This Christmas will be something unreal. Darling, you saved my heart, just as I thought I was falling apart. I'll be on your side forevermore. Under the mistletoe, I'll be just fine when you knock on my door. Kiss me, darling, don't be shy. It's you that I adore. I will try hard just to keep you, so keep on smiling. That is what I'll do when Hollywood is firing. We've conquered problems of our fears. This Christmas will be something unreal. Darling, you saved my heart, just as I thought I was falling
December again. I can't believe it. Whatever happened to the rest of the year? It went by so fast, I barely did see it. Now I'm calling all angels high. If you are there, help me find the Christmas spirit again. The Christmas spirit again. That warm place in my heart that was there from the start. I want that Christmas spirit again. I find myself wandering downtown, window shopping, listening to the sound from some street choir caroling through the air, and the smell of the big Christmas tree in the square. Here comes the Christmas spirit again. That Christmas spirit again. And a warm place in my heart that was there from the start. From the start. Here comes the Christmas spirit again. That Christmas spirit again. One place in my heart that was there from the start. You know I'm glad to tell you, my friend, I found the Christmas spirit, the Christmas spirit again. I found that Christmas spirit, that Christmas spirit again.
Hi, how's it going? Okay, let's see. Okay, I thought I had everything set up perfectly, and maybe I did. Maybe everything is a gift, and everything that happens is meant to be. I don't know. Hi, hello, how are you? My good people, it's Monday night. It's 7 o'clock, a little bit after. If you're new here, I start a little bit after the go time listed on the schedule because it takes a minute for people to get notifications, and not because it's you, it's not you. It's like, technology, YouTube, Twitch, everybody, Instagram, they're all in cahoots, but sometimes you don't get a notification right away. And so I have to wait. for people to arrive. And people are arriving. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. I'm so glad you're here. I'm in Chicago. It feels amazing. I confess to a little bit, not that it's going to affect my performance. I'm here for you. I'm ready. I'm a show woman. Little bit of the holiday blues today. Little bit, just a little bit. Probably because I was playing the soundtrack, like the theme music stuff that I play. Like I have the Starting Soon playlist, and then I have the BRB playlist, the Be Right Back playlist for if I have to, be right back. It's great. It's a little melancholy. Like I don't know. I'll be home for Christmas in a jazz mood. I don't know. I don't know that that's really a great idea to play at a party, for example. It's like, I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. It's like, well, you can't count on everybody. It's like if you've ever been disappointed at Christmas, then, sorry, I'm not going to do that. In fact, I was laughing to myself earlier because I thought, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it just be a hoot if I really had the Christmas blues? And I was like, and I just came on and I was like, and just was not together, I've gotten teary on this show a couple times because it's just the way I am. I cry like a tick. It's like a tick. And it'll happen. It's happened a couple times. It'll happen more. But I think coming on sobbing is not probably going to happen. I mean, 20 years ago when I was emotional and unchecked, maybe, but now I have too much dignity, maybe? I don't know. Probably not. Let's see what happens. It could happen. So yeah, the show's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. We have an amazing show tonight. I sound like David Letterman or something. Yeah, there's so much. And I realize I have a problem, actually. And soon, by the way, what's going to happen is I'm going to talk about the quilt behind me, that's on the green screen behind me. And it's different every night or every show. I'm going to give some announcements. There's announcements. I'm going to tell you what this is about, this show, why it's called Quilt Nerd. And then we're going to talk about all this amazing quilt stuff. But this is the warm up. And I realized, and I'm going to welcome everybody too, who's watching. And I realized, 4 months into doing this, aside from it being like the most fun I've ever had, it's a lot because there's so much to do. And today I got a lot done, but I was still, it was like 20% of what I wanted to get done, And part of the problem was that I have so much content for you. Like, it's hard to pick what I'm going to share. Because, okay, so it's that. And then also organizing everything. I'm pretty good. I have folders for everything. But what do you do when you have hundreds and hundreds of folders? What do you do then? And so, oh God, I didn't even check. Mark's here to cheer me up. God bless you. Everyone. Thanks, Mark. I asked if the sound was okay, and then I did not look. I think it'd be okay. Otherwise, I would see some stuff. Okay, good. So anyway, so there's so much content that it's okay. So Mark's beautiful message to me, just totally derailed me. So I made my content plan, but the problem is, so when I was on the plane back to the States from London, I worked just like a little busy bee. I was making content plans for the next 2 weeks. But you know what? It was great that I got the content into the buckets and, put it all together, sort of filed things and discovered things and have things ready. But I can't plan ahead like that. I mentioned the last time we were together that I'm like a chef, putting a meal together, but it's really true. I have to feel it, man. Like I had something planned tonight that just wasn't right. It wasn't, no. I don't know if you've ever watched Ab Fab, Absolutely Fabulous, but I loved that show for years. I just watched my DVD of it just over and over and over, like the box set or whatever. And Adita? Yeah, anyway. Jennifer French. Joanna Lumley and La French, right? So she was like, she was using like a divining rod in her closet, and she picked out an outfit, and she was like, she put it on and she's like, no, I cannot be this person. I cannot be this person today. And I just completely understood that. And sometimes with the content, like I've found planning it out ahead of time, it's like, no, it's not right today. No, it's not right today. And that has to do with what happened the last stream, what kind of content actually was evolving there and how I feel. So it takes some time. So I didn't get everything done I wanted to get done, but that's okay. That's okay. It's going to be a great show. It's always going to be a great show because there's so much to talk about. And so, whatever, man. That's my final answer. Whatever, man. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do the intro. No. I'm going to say hi to people first, because if I wait too long, it gets too long. It gets too long. I have to say hello, and then I have to say why we're here, and then we'll talk about quilts and stuff. Okay. Padma is here Monday night. It's true. We are here. Quilting Nancy. She's got the lingo. Hiya, nerds. She says, hiya, nerds. We're nerds. We're here. We know it. We love it. That's why we're here. Kristen Quilts. Hey, everybody. You know what? The last time we were here together, Saturday. I don't know. I don't remember. Everyone was sewing. It was like you were quilt nerds or something, sewing in your studios and in your kitchens. Loved it. Rediscovering the joy. Word and Bird Nerd is here. Rediscovering the joy of a wireless headset, so you can wander around the house until the show starts listening to Christmas music. 1000%. When I listen to live streams or podcasts or whatever, the wireless, the headphones, man, it's a game changer because you can do all the things, and listen to your show. I love it. Teacher Stitch, you are live with us instead of having to watch the replay. The replay is great. Anybody who's watching the replay, so glad you're watching. But it is super fun to be here live. It is very true. I'm so glad. I hope you'll contribute to the conversation. But if you're lurking, that's cool. You don't have to say anything. If you're not going to say anything nice, don't say anything. But it's great to have you. You loving the mood music? Same. I'm loving that Christmas music, unless it gets a little bit too real. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate cake. Really? You didn't have to share that either. No, I'm kidding. What did I have? I made salmon and I almost set off the fire alarm. It was close. The smoke alarm. Very close. Oh, it was very, very close. I was like, it's going to go. It's going to go. My first few days back in this apartment building, and I'm going to set it off. But it didn't. It was very close. Jill is sewing. It's Monday. Let's do this. Yes. Excellent. Oh, and Jillian, I owe you an email, and I have it even up on my screen over there on the other screen. Sujan is here. The write down is here. Great. People have brownies also. Chocolate cake, brownies. That's fine. I'm good. I have my chips. Chips are a thing here. I don't know if you're new. It's a chip. Oh, wow. That's weird. Wow. Okay. The green screen doesn't like that. Does it like this? Nope. Okay. That looks like it's a rotten potato chip. God knows why. Why? It's a translucent chip. Half the calories. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Chips are a thing. It's just, I like them. I like crisps. And now they're my lucky charm. So if I don't have a little bowl of crisps, I don't feel like I have as good of a show. It's happened a few times. The two times I was like, that was terrible. I didn't have enough potato chips. And I almost put in some tortilla chips into my little bowl. I was like, no, it has to be potato chips. And these are like Trader Joe's truffle potato chips. I like truffle, but I don't know. But I've got them. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Trace and Marion and Anna, Marion is from Melbourne, Australia. Anna is from Victoria, BC, Canada. And Trace, I don't know, aloha, maybe Hawaii. You're all in YouTube land. And I'm multi-streaming to Twitch and YouTube. I do this show on Twitch. I really like Twitch. If you come over to Twitch, you'll be involved in the chat room in Twitch, which is great. But I multi-stream to YouTube because I can. And I know some people are like, Twitch, what's that? I was like that too before I started doing all of this, so I know it's like new and weird. But Amazon owns it, so it's probably fine. but yeah, I'm really glad you're here. It's kind of funky to like work with the chat at both at the same time, right? So if I seem like I'm ignoring you or something, I'm not. It's just there's a lot of technology here in front of me. I'm at my limit on like how many like functions I can perform. But I'm really glad you're here. Brownies, great. Okay, chocolate cake, awesome. Teacher Stitch is finishing a Christmas quilt tonight. We're going to talk about Christmas quilts tomorrow, actually, if I'm feeling it. Padma is here in her sewing room, working on a pinwheel quilt. Half square triangles. You know what? Get that half square triangle ruler, the Fons and Porter half square triangle ruler. That's why I made my second quilt all half square triangles, 2,400 pieces in my second quilt I ever made, just because I knew how to make a half square triangle with the straighter grain on the outside edge. Nerd alert. I should have a little soundtrack that's like a siren, you know, and whenever we get really nerdy, I can push it. I have a Stream Deck thing. You guys have seen it. Okay. Twitch is only working on your iPad, M. Hicks. You know, M. Hicks, you have had trouble, and I'm legitimately feeling like I'm feeling bad, because I feel like you've had a lot of technical difficulty, but you've stuck in there and you've been true, and I'm sorry. I don't know. I just appreciate you, you know? So thank you for suffering that stuff. Okay. M. Hicks, okay. Okay, you're here. Okay, good. Yeah, this quilt behind me is amazing. You're gonna freak out. Sewing Karen, you made it. You totally made it. CB Mac is here. Beautiful. Quilting Nancy. Myra is here. Bip is here. Monday night can't get any better. I'm with you. I'm feeling it. I love it. If I had the holiday blues before, they're gone. Shoo. M. Sujan is here. SJ is here. SJ! Oh my god. SJ, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, you have Discord questions. Perhaps someone can help out. I am also working on all of that. And who else should I say? Fee and Dora coming in with the theme music. God bless you. Jet lag could be Susan R. Michael. It's good to see you too. D. Marie. Oh, good. Thank you. Whatever the process is. Well, the process keeps changing because the show's growing and it's doing different things and it's very exciting. Little Bird Stitch and Mark. The Ann West coverlet, wasn't that great? Oh, that was so great. Man, that was great. Jennifer Saunders. Thank you, Jennifer Saunders. That's the one. It's okay. You love the schedule. Listen, I know. You know, it's tough. I love these evening shows. I really do. And most of my viewers, not all, but most of my viewers are in, you know, the States or in North America, you know, Canada. And I love it. I love the vibe. I mean, it's like a theater show. You know, I used to do the theater. And so, you know, you do a show, you dinner and a movie, right? So this is the dinner and a movie time period. And yeah. I like it. Myra's going to finish her Bronte quilt. Okay. Kristen is here. Oh, I talked to Kristen. Kristen's eating chocolate, you know, and a Flinster is here. Okay, great. Okay, great. So anybody else who comes in after this time, Debbie is at YouTube and you're working on silk? Debbie's sewing silk? Oh, Alex Anderson is leading a project. Well, that makes perfect sense. I mean, silk, you know? Okay, so this show is about quilts, all right? And some people, and we have a drinking game. I feel like I should say that. Like, I'm not going to say it forever, but it says a lot, you know, that we have a drinking game. Have we played it yet? I mean, we're always playing it. Have we proved it yet? Not yet, live, but we will. In fact, I have a source for tequila. God, that sounds weird. But I know Chicago real well. London, I mean, it's going to take me years to really get to know it. But Chicago, forget it. Like, I know where to go. You know, I know where. In fact, I was driving to do some different things the other day, errands, like groceries and different things, and I knew where to go. For the first time in 8 months, I didn't need Google Maps. And it's a small thing, but it's huge. I was like, I had to go to Best Buy to pick up these lights that are on me now. And I was like, I know just where to go, you know? And I drove to the South Loop and with my eyes closed. Don't worry, it was fine. So yeah. Anyway, so we have this drinking game, and I need to get the tequila, whatever. And when someone said, if we're reading live on the show some sort of article or some kind of text about quilts, because that's what happens here sometimes, and we read the line, "These aren't your grandmother's quilts," we take a shot, because we hate that. We hate that line. For many reasons. Not only is it like super trite and like journalist person, writer person, please think harder. Like, that's crap. Like, these aren't your grandmother's quilts. You're not funny. It's not interesting. It's a dead phrase. But also, even if they were your grandmother's quilts, what's the problem? And so we just think it's sort of visible to take a shot when we do that. So that's the kind of show you've tuned into. We like quilts for a lot of reasons here. As you've seen, if you've been watching me, welcome everybody. Some people are quilting right now as they watch this show. I'm not, because I am your host, who is going to take the people here through quilt nerdery. And quilt nerdery is basically, it's the act of nerding out about quilts. And it's not what you might think. It's not that we're going to nerd out about how to make them. We do that a little bit, okay? But what we're doing here is we are like investigating quilts in the world. They show up everywhere. They show up in museums and in fashion and art, in material culture, in anthropology, and blah, blah, blah. They show up everywhere, and they happen to be usually extremely beautiful, right? So that's fun. It's really fun to look at quilts because they're really visually great. But they're also these documents of history. Like, for example, like tonight, like one of the things we're going to look at is this book. We're going to look at images from this book, okay? This book, A Communion of the Spirits, African American Quilters, Preservers, and Their Stories. Are you kidding me? Look at this. Look how many tabs I have. Can you see my tabs? It's a tabbed book. That's one book of thousands and thousands. I have hundreds and... Do I have thousands of quilt books? I don't know. But I have a lot of them. And since I've been home in Chicago, I've been like swimming through them. Really happy. And there's so many books about quilts because there's so much to talk about. Poor people make quilts, rich people make quilts. Every level of like socioeconomic, like class level, whatever. Everyone makes quilts, whatever. Races, creeds, location, geography, continent, like everybody, we make quilts because they're fun. They're a creative outlet. They help you make do with what you have. But a lot of quilts aren't made from like tiny scraps of this and that. Many quilts are made because people intentionally go and buy fabric to make their quilts, because their quilts are their artistic creative outlet. And so it's not about subsistence, it's about beauty and creation and all that. Quilts are weird because how much do you charge for a quilt that you make? You know, it's like, it's not worth very much. Weirdly, is a quilt art or craft? I don't know. You know, it's a question that really kind of, it may not ever have an answer, but we really like to think about it and talk about it. But, you know, to price a quilt is difficult because quilts aren't considered fine art. Some of them may be fine art and be sold for $1 million. Some of them you can't give them away. But if a family member has a quilt that their grandmother gave them, or their mother gave them, or their best friend gave them, or whatever, it's kind of priceless. So how do you square that? How do you square up that? To all my quilters out there, how do you square that? What is a quilt? What is this object? And so looking at these things is endlessly interesting to me because I like the quilts. I like to have them on my bed. I make them. They're great. But it's not just about pretty blankets. If it was, I wouldn't be here because I'm interested in everything. I want to know all the things. And so it's amazing that quilts can lead us to all these different things. Economics, philosophy, all this stuff. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's talk about it. Okay. And anybody new, anybody new who comes in, welcome, welcome. That's all I have to say. And YouTube's blowing up. Okay. Debbie, I'm so glad. Oh yeah. Okay. I said hello to you. Marion, you've got beautiful weather. It's beautiful weather on a Tuesday because you must be, oh yeah, you're in Melbourne, Australia. Oh, that's so cool. What's the future like? Anything we should know? And Sheila is in Oklahoma City. I really want to go to Oklahoma. I really do. My work at Quilt Folk, was editor, and I traveled all over to do the state by state investigations of quilts in America. And Oklahoma, man, I'm not editor-in-chief anymore. I was fired. No, I'm kidding. No, I stepped down and I'm an editorial advisor now. But Oklahoma, I might have to use my, my credit or something, or use my clout or whatever, and horn in on the Oklahoma issue, because there's so much that I want to explore in Oklahoma, quilt-wise. And Susan Kelly is here, also from Oklahoma. What's going on? And she says this show is so interesting. I agree. Okay, I see what you're doing there. I see you. Okay, so let's take a look at this quilt behind us, behind me today. It has a special story, indeed. Okay, I gotta get small. Help, I'm small. Okay, so now you can see, this is a detail that you're seeing. I'm gonna bring up the full quilt for you here in just a second. This quilt is famous. It's unusual, design-wise, I think. I think you'll probably agree. And let's look at the full Monty. Okay. So this is, let me make myself a little bit less prominent, because I don't want to take away from things here. Okay. I don't know. My green screen, my skills are not what they were in London, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I can fix that on the break. Maybe not. So this is the Garfield and Arthur quilt. Okay. And this quilt, I have pulled up here for you the record that is available on the Art Institute of Chicago's collections website, okay? Because this quilt lives at the Art Institute of Chicago, just down the street, basically. So before I read this, what are your thoughts? Sometimes I just launch into things, and it is a conversation, right? And a lot of times I'll say things and then see what you all are saying, but what are your impressions here? I mean, yes, Jay, I see that. Not just pretty blankets. Yes, I feel that. Yes, and help, I'm small. I love to say help, I'm small. Okay, I'm glad that you like that too, because I just like saying it. I love it. Hey, NDH, hi. Okay, so Dee Marie, thank you, because one thing I can do while you all are kind of analyzing this thing is maybe do a little thing here with my green screen. Anyway, so yeah, I'll start. When I saw this quilt, I was like, I have never, ever, before or since, seen a quilt that was 60-degree diamonds. Is that right? 90-degree diamonds, right? 1,000 pyramid. 90? Yeah. I think so. Oh God. Arranged like this. I mean, these smaller triangles. Sorry, not diamonds. Triangles. These smaller triangles, forming these bigger triangles. The lights and the darks. I've just never seen anything like it. It's never come up again. I mean, have you seen it? Right? Isn't it wow? It's totally wow, right? Okay, it's totally wow. Hang on. I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a thing to the thing. Nope, too much. Nope. Are you seeing the green screen do things? Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun to see what I do for hours? Okay, maybe that's a little bit better. Is it better? Oh, I think it is better. Okay. Oh, well, no, maybe not. Okay. So it's quite modern looking. Word and Bird Nerd says it's quite modern looking. I know I have a spot on my head. Just keep talking about the quilt. I'll fix it. It's quite modern looking. I agree. Oh yeah, and let me tell you what time period, and I'll fix the weird thing on my head. The time period or the year is 1880. It's actually, we actually know that it was made in 1880. Okay. What else? It's amazing who's in the middle. Okay, so who is in the middle this is called the Garfield and Arthur quilt because that is a campaign banner. Okay, a campaign banner showing. Is that better? Yeah, it's a little better. Campaign banner showing Chester B. Arthur and James A. Garfield. Okay, so some of you may know. Okay, so let me just see what else you've said. The value, yeah, Dee Marie is saying the value, the shape of each piece, the challenge of all those points, 1,000%, like OMG. And like the yellow, let's just zoom in a little bit. And I have other pictures to show. Oh, yeah, I've got other pictures to show you. But in terms of details, it's going to be a zoom in. This yellow, like who can even use that yellow? Like I couldn't use that. I mean, look, I'm not dissing Amy Butler, but like there's some large scale sort of floral prints that I have seen in my time that they languished. They could not be incorporated because I didn't know what to do with them. But look at this. I mean, this is like, the yellow is totally perf. Yeah, and M. Hicks says, I love all the pyramids. I wouldn't want to do all of those intersecting seams. Same. It's moderately, yes, transparent potato chip on my head. I know. Isn't that weird? I think I got, if I go like this, it's bad. If I stay back, I don't know. God. I just want to do quilt nerdery. But it's just, you tell me if I still have a thing. Okay. So the corners are interesting because they're not white. Wait a minute. What? Wait, what are you saying? The corners are interesting because they're not white. You mean, what do you mean? I am very interested. Oh, and Mother Nature. Mother Nature, it's so good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Tell me what you mean. I have every faith that you have a very, very good point to make, but I'm not seeing what you're saying. Yeah. MC John says a transparent potato. Oh yeah, on my head, but you're looking at the quilt. That's good. Look at the quilt. Don't look at me. Presidential quilt. Exactly. Okay. So, Word and Bird Nerd says Garfield president. Arthur became president after Garfield died. Okay. So here's the deal. Let me get this quilt. And SJ says, look at those mini triangles with the red and white and jade colored other triangles. Look at those mini triangles with the red, hang on, and white and jade colored other triangles. Red and white and jade. These? Well, I mean, I think I know. I think I'm feeling what you're saying just because there are several fabrics that have kind of that color combination going on. And by the way, there's this blue, this like, it's not cadet blue. What am I? Well, I don't know. What is that? What is that blue? It is kind of cadet blue, right? So you've got like yellow, blue, green, red. You've got all the things, and somehow it works gorgeously. Okay, so let's read about this quilt. Peacock. Yeah, it is a little bit peacock. Yeah, it is a little bit peacock. Yeah, I like that. I like it better than cadet. Cadet's a little bit more faded. We could talk about cadet blue quilts. Cadet was a very specific dye color. Okay, so here we go. Garfield and Arthur quilt, possibly made by Annie Ensminger Creedy. I'm going to put her name in the chat box just because it's spelled very interestingly. And Mother Nature says, oh yeah, the large red triangles on the flat end. The large red triangles on the flat end of the larger, okay, yes, larger triangles. Some might have taken the light right to the corner. Okay. Honestly, I did think maybe that was what you're saying, but I didn't want to say it if I was wrong. Mother Nature's talking about this. Like instead of making the white, the white portion, the light value, come all the way into the corner, the designer was like, no, I'm gonna make the ends, the corners, the four corners dark. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like ridiculous. Okay. All right. Much like the Philadelphia Centennial Exhibition quilt in our collection. Oh, this is from the Art Institute. Okay. We can look at that quilt too. There's a link. Much like the Philadelphia Centennial Exhibition quilt in our collection, this quilt features a promotional handkerchief. Here, the handkerchief, which is placed at the center of a four-pointed star, highlights the 1880 presidential ticket of James A. Garfield and Chester B. Arthur, who did indeed win the election, although Garfield was assassinated a mere 6 months after taking office. The pattern and color of the design appear celebratory, but in the late 19th century, campaigns and elections were beset by problems similar to those of the present day, including factionalized parties, close election results, and discussion and debate comparing the popular vote to the Electoral College, as well as uncompelling and scandalous candidates. I like that writing. Uncompelling. So, there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody's always just a crack up, it's like it's all a disaster. Put that on the bingo card. I say that a fair amount too. Caitlin, hey Caitlin. And Caitlin says, oh, I love this. Okay. Caitlin says it's totally not quilt related, but one of her favorite books is about the assassination of Garfield. Really? It's called Destiny of the Republic by Candace Millard, and it looks at the intersection of politics, technology, and medicine. What? It's cool to see a quilt that tied into that history. That's so great. You are super nerdy. You're so nerdy. We're really glad you're here. You're among friends. That's awesome. That's so awesome. I bet my husband Eric would like that book too. Destiny of the Republic by Candace Millard. Take note. Little Bird Stitch. This is so symmetrical, the way the large light triangles are inverted in the corners. You give it a whirling motion. So carefully cut and sewn. Yeah. Yeah. So, I saw this quilt somewhere in a book. The thing is, the reason I like this quilt so much, some of the reasons I like this quilt so much, is because it was one of the first quilts I saw. I remember this, where I was like, damn, I think I want to know more about quilts. Like, it was really that, because I was making them and I was excited. But at a certain point, I had my revelation that was like, oh, I like quilts and they're part of my family history. But actually, I'm going to take this in a whole different direction. Like, I have questions. And so I remembered this quilt. It was kind of iconic to me, and it is iconic, and it's famous. And Shelley Ziegert, I believe, was the owner, that famous collector, Shelley Ziegert. I believe she owned this quilt for a while. She sold, or probably sold, many of her quilts to the Art Institute. There are many quilts in the Art Institute quilt collection that were owned previously by Shelley Ziegert. I know that much, okay? So, do I still have a potato chip? Oh yeah, if I get too close, I have a potato chip on my head. That's what we're going to say. Mary, you've got potato. Why is the potato chip not... Is it because is it too transparent? And the green screen? It looks like it's rotten. Anyway. Yes, a nerd apple. Yes. You're losing your vision. Wait, what? Oh, okay. You're losing your vision. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it's all blurry. Really? Okay. I think I understand. Anyway, so here, let's continue. Here's what's going to happen next. Okay, good. So I went to school for graduate school at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. That is the school that is associated with the Art Institute of Chicago. Okay? In fact, fun fact, the School of the Art Institute started before the museum. Yes, it's true. A woman, I forget her name, I'm sorry, but she was a woman, started the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And then the museum was created to teach the students about the art that they were learning to make or whatever. So the collection began as like a teaching tool. Isn't that great? Hey, Jerry Cat, I'm so glad you're following. Thank you so much. And if you haven't followed the show, if you haven't clicked like follow, you should do it, because then you'll get a notification when I go live. And I have so many extra shows this week. I didn't even do the announcements yet, but I will. On the schedule, we'll look at it. There's a show on Thursday that wasn't on the schedule before, and the Twitch schedule was a total mess, but I fixed it. So anyway, so the School of the Art Institute happened first, right? And then the museum. So I went to school there, and I have my degree in writing, my master's degree in writing. And I wanted to go there because at the Art Institute, the School of the Art Institute, you are encouraged to be interdisciplinary. So as a writer, I could take textile classes, and as a writing student, as a graduate student, and I could do photography if I wanted to. You know, it's art school, right? So I had to suffer a few conceptual pieces in workshops. It's fine. Everyone has their own path. But it was a wonderful place, and I met wonderful people there who I love very much. And so one day in my, what was it, textile seminar or something like that with the brilliant Ann Wilson, we went to the collections room at the Art Institute at the museum. So we walked ourselves across Michigan Avenue from the classroom to the museum itself. And of course you can go into the museum and look at whatever you want. I mean, amazing. Worth all my student loans. So I went over here with my class, and we went down into the catacombs of the Art Institute Textile Division Department. And we are walking along, and look, this woman gives us a nice tour. And by the way, in YouTube, I want to say hi to Susan, or to Kathy in Canada. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I hope everything is going okay with that, because someone had a blurry screen, but I think we're okay. All right. So we're on this tour, and we're walking. I'm looking at things, and it's very exciting. I'm thrilled to be there. I'm taking notes. I was super nerdy at all times, and then. Okay, so I'm building the suspense. And then we turn a corner. I am telling you God's honest truth, okay? I mean, obviously, there's evidence. It's just it's unbelievable. We turn a corner. I can't believe it. And that is on a table, just like that. I mean, there's nothing happening in the chat right now, and I'm a little bit afraid that everything has stopped. So if somebody could say something, I'm a little concerned, especially after I show you this picture, because, oh God, okay, thank God. Yeah. So goosebumps. Yes. So this was not planned. I did not ask. I did not request the textile department of the Art Institute of Chicago to please pull a quilt for me when I take a tour with my class. I mean, okay, good. It was out. The quilt that I just showed, the Garfield and Arthur quilt, was being examined for display. I know. Here's what happened. You see these people? These nice people, okay? These lovely, I was a non-traditional student at that point. I was like 37 years old when I went to grad school, and like they were younger than that. And so we turn a corner, and I'm like, I made some like, oh my God, like it was like I saw a celebrity that I really cared about, like I probably wouldn't freak out. No, I would not freak out about a celebrity like I freaked out about this quilt. It was like seeing a ghost. I was like, ah! I couldn't believe it. Oh no. Did I just disappear? I think I did. Did I disappear? I disappeared. Ah! You're not seeing all my like gesticulations. Okay, so I was like, ah! And clutched my breast. And everyone was like, oh my God, what, are you okay? And I was like, that. And it was the quilt. And I was like, everyone needs to stop right now and understand what's happening right now. And what was crazy, y'all, is that this quilt was really important to me. I just always knew it's like I was proud to know it. Not in this moment, but just in general, because I would see it and it shows up from time to time. So like kind of as I was like building my quilt nerd knowledge, I would see it and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's the Garfield and Arthur quilt. And it's hard to explain, but it was like this quilt was sort of like in my 101 quilt nerd class or something. And then like it was sort of like a fundamental. It's weird. It wouldn't be for someone else, it's just it happened to be what I was reading or whatever. And so there it was. Kristen, I always want to call you Kirsten. Sorry. Kristen, I got to see it in all its glory. And Jill, I kind of needed to go to the bathroom. I mean, it was nuts. And so I got as many pictures as I could, you guys. But I felt a little bit. I mean, I was always pretty weird in school. It's like, Mary's weird. Like, yeah, I know. And I was weird again because I was like, hey, gee, it's just really important quilt. It's just really exciting. I've seen this quilt for so many years. I really like it. It's just like really special and it's like really different, than like a lot of other quilts. So like, if I had my glasses on, I would have like bumped them and felt, like myself. Look at this bird. Look at this bird. Isn't that wonderful? This fabric, isn't it just great? It's so great. So I took the pictures that I could, but then, I mean, I have to say, and I shouldn't care what people think, but I was in a class and we were like, in a class and there were other things to talk about and there's only so much time. And my professor, Ann Wilson, is like, it's like La Wilson. She's like this famous artist and she's amazing. And I didn't want to make it about me, and this like quilt that I loved, but I did get a picture, like a few. And I didn't want to like touch the quilt, but I had to lean over it. And I think I got like a few pictures. I don't know. It's a weird angle, but I was really happy. Yeah. Okay. So that's the story about that. Isn't that fun? It's so fun. I've had a million different haircuts, so it always changes. It was really, God maybe was giving me a little wink, whatever it was. I feel like there was a wink present because what are the odds? You gotta admit, what are the odds of that I'm like, oh man, this quilt is awesome. I love this quilt. It's so special. I think I want to learn more about quilts. Cut to, it's really cool. It's really cool. Oh yes, Paisley for days. Paisley for days. So anyway, that's that. I mean, look, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have a few of those kinds of stories, over the years because, the more quilts I see in person, I'll have like, pictures like, like Mount Rushmore, like, here I am in front of this quilt, in front of that quilt. But there's never going to be a story like that. Well, there might be. Anyway, I'm just telling you, that's, that's a one-of-a-kind kind of deal. Grad school, 2017, blonde, walking in the catacombs of the Art Institute, surprised by a quilt. Anyway. Yeah, the stitches were tiny, Marion, over in YouTube land. Totally. Okay, so that's our intro quilt today. Now, before we go on, oh man, okay, I really changed. Okay, while I was small, I changed the green screen. So now I have to. Well, you know what? I could make it really simple and just get small again, and then maybe that'll be okay. Oh, I don't know. God help me. It's what Mark. It's right. It's what brought me to this chapter in my life. I think it's true. It's true, and I think too. Like, I don't know. There's been a few times where. How do I say this and not sound gross? There's been a few times where, I guess it's like in this moment, I really knew about this thing, like I recognized a quilt they had out for, like, it wasn't that they were doing restoration on it, probably. I don't know, but they were cleaning it, certainly, with their little vacuum thing or whatever. And like, I felt really confident, afterwards. I was like, I knew what that was. And I was excited, I was genuinely excited. I wasn't like, oh yes, that's a Garfield and Arthur quilt. It was like, this is so great. And it felt good that I had learned some things, right? And that it was evident. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the next thing. The next thing is this. The next thing is this, people. Oh wait, let me get out of this. This is the next thing. Look, I'm blonde in this too. Okay. This is the sweater schedule. This is what people have been calling the sweater schedule, which is great. I revised this. Don't worry. There's just 2 changes to it, okay? This is posted on the Discord. This is the December schedule as of now for the show. And it's called the sweater schedule because, obviously. The 2 changes that I made are, well, okay, I put updated 13 December, okay, so everyone would know. But the 2 changes that I made were simply that I put a little asterisk here, and I put all times Central Time down here, because I usually am really good at doing that because there's so many people in so many different time zones. But I forgot to do it, or I didn't think to do it on the sweater schedule, so that's there now. And then also, the only other change is that there's a show on Thursday at 11 a.m., the old time, because I want my friends in the UK to be able to see the show, and that's the usual time. For them, it'll be 5 o'clock. So anyway, so I added that because the reason there wasn't a show before on the previous version 1 was because I thought we were going to be on a plane on Thursday, December 16th, but we came home early. So there's going to be a show. There's going to be a show. So that's that, and I want to say that, okay, so I did that, and I'm sorry that the schedule on Twitch was, I think the only word to really use is jacked. It was jacked. It was awful. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I tried to do time zone math, and then Twitch changed my time zone or something. I don't know. It was user error, but I went through really carefully with the sweater schedule and the Twitch schedule under the schedule tab on my Twitch channel. And things look good, I think. Okay, so I did that. See? Announcements, okay? And then, okay, look at this. So that's that. And that's in the Discord. It's a PDF. So if you're in our Discord, if someone could give a link to the Discord, that would be great for people who aren't on it. It's just a clubhouse. It's where we hang out when the show is over. The other thing... is, hang on, now I gotta get this little guy up here. Yeah, okay. Oh, check this out. So I just wanted to remind everybody, look at this little poster I made. So that's me, and that's my mom. And, oh, hey, somebody did a thing. Someone gifted a sub. Jerry Cat, you gifted a tier 1 sub to Autumn Piper. That's so kind. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jerry Cat. And Autumn Piper, you got friends here. You may have been... Oh, yeah, and Jerry Cat, your first time chat. Okay, I missed something. I was talking about schedules and, who cares, right? We have new people. Everybody, please welcome Jerry Cat to the show. It's your second stream watching live. Jerry, I'm so glad you're here. And already you're like part of this thing, You gifted a sub to somebody else. It's amazing. That's really great, and I appreciate it. And everybody who's subscribing, I really appreciate you. It feels great to have subscribers because it means that you value. I know you value. You don't have to subscribe to value the show, but it feels great, and it's a way to support the show, And let's see, Padma. Yeah, it's totally serendipity and synchronicity. I feel that way about like all of this whole thing. So, quantum. Oh, Dee Marie bringing in the quantum experience. 1000%. We got to talk quantum sometime. Anyway, so Jerry Cat, you know my poetry stuff. Yes, I wrote that poem many years ago now, and it's a very special poem. Maybe I'll do it one day. Maybe I'll do it live one day. Interesting. I like it when people know me from back when. Autumn Piper, yeah, Jerry Cat is like... totes a friend now. Okay, anyway. So this is me and my mom long ago. One of my first Christmases, really. I mean, I don't know. How old am I there? I'm 2. Am I 2? Am I 3? I don't know. But it's Marianne and Mary Fons. And I just wanted to remind everybody that on Tuesday, and Jillian, if you're watching, I already said, I got to get your email. But we're going to go a week from tomorrow. Mom and I are going to go to Boston to see the Fabric of a Nation exhibit. Oh, nice. Yay. Autumn, this is her second live too. This is awesome. This is great. Whoa. Take a look at Word Bird Nerd at the National Archives in the UK. They rolled out the department. Whoa. That's amazing. Okay. Noted. So Mom and I talked to her today, and we are going to do a show from Boston on the 21st, a week from tomorrow, at 7 p.m. Central. So it'll be 8 p.m. for us. We've gone over that. And Mom gets in at like 5:30. I get in a little bit earlier. We're going to get pizza and wine, and we're gonna hang out in our hotel room and do a stream. So, because I mean, we could go out and like tie one on in Boston, and Mom's coming to Chicago after that for Christmas, so we're gonna have lots of time, to like hang out and like do things. But yeah, that's dinner plans, right? That's dinner plans. Is we're gonna stream from the hotel. So so join us. You can watch on Twitch, you can watch on YouTube, all of that good stuff, and we hope that you join us. Okay, we won't have seen the show yet because our tickets are for the next day, but I'm sure we'll talk about all kinds of nerdy things. That's what we do. Okay, so that's good. Check. All right, let's roll. So yesterday, I'm going to stay small because I don't want to have half my head disappear in the green screen. So yesterday, or the last stream, I discussed, or I mentioned, Tuesday the 14th? Oh dear. Oh no. Is it really? Did I get the date wrong? Oh no. Is it Tuesday the 14th? What did I say? The 12th? Oh God. I had it, you know what? I had it right. And then I closed my screen and it didn't save. Forget you saw that. Remember the cute picture and it's just a week from tomorrow, okay? Too much to do. Okay. Yesterday, I'm going to move on. Yesterday, I was thinking, what traditional quilts can I share on the show tomorrow? Because, okay, shit. Did I? Okay, just Marie, please take care of everything. You're hired. Just take care of all the things. So yesterday I was thinking, what traditional quilts can I bring to the show tomorrow that will be interesting to see? Because the last stream that we did, I mentioned that I bring a lot of weird quilts, or not weird, but we're not just talking about grandmother's flower garden quilts on this show. That's not what this is about. You can be nerdy about grandmother's flower garden quilts, but you'll be rewarded, right, if you look a little bit harder and you look a little bit further for quilts in the world, because there's so many of them and they're there and they're fascinating. So I, having all my books around me here in Chicago, I was like, oh man. So I went into it's just a small portion of the books that I have that are up here in the apartment and not down in the storage locker. And I pulled out a few. And one of the first that I pulled out was this book, Communion of the Spirits. Okay. And I was like, well, that's perfect. So I've got pulled up for you some gorgeous traditional quilts, traditional American quilts. And all of them have pictures of people in them also, which is amazing, right? That's totally great. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about this book and some pictures of people with their very traditional quilts. And traditional, that's actually one of the things I was going to ask you all, or just kind of bring up, is what does traditional mean? I mean, I think the longer, we go on, the older America gets. Hope we can make it. The older America gets as a nation, the more traditional quilts we're going to have, right? Because, I mean, if you consider a modern style quilt, what we would consider a modern style quilt, I mean, that's going to be traditional if people keep making them for 100 years, right? So, so traditional quilts, I mean, I don't know. It's just my mom always said, like, a pumpkin pie is considered traditional. It's a traditional thing for Thanksgiving, right? Why? Because we make a pumpkin pie one year for Thanksgiving, and then people like it. Great, cool. Everybody's into the pumpkin pie, so you make it again the next year, and then you make it again, and you make it again, and you keep doing it. And so it becomes this tradition that you make a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, or you like have a roast turkey or Mexican food, right? For Christmas dinner, fabulous. And so traditional quilts, I mean, people riff on quilt blocks all the time. That's what we do. It's what we love to do as quilters. But those fundamental pieces, we just talked about flying geese tonight. Log cabin is probably one of the most traditional quilt blocks there is, because many of our quilt blocks are called many different things. Shoe fly, churn dash. These are both kind of the same block. Arguably the same block. Barbara Brackman's Encyclopedia of Pieced Quilt Patterns shows you all of the names for a single block. One block, one simple design can have many, many names, because there isn't like a standard like nomenclature for quilt blocks, right? But a log cabin is pretty much a log cabin across the board. They call them Manx in my friend Jenny Smith. It's a Manx block, but anyway, so these fundamental traditional pieces, these elements of quilts they're made over and over and over again, so they're traditional. So the traditional quilts I want to show you, have a lot of those elements in them, right, from this book. So, and the people are just really interesting and great. So what I'm going to do first is read to you about this book. I'll read you the jacket, and then as I go through the pictures that I have pulled for you, I'm going to read from the introduction. It's brief. It's by Questa Benberry. We'll talk about that. Okay. So this book was published in Jerry Cat. Wait a minute. Whoa. We have to call this out. We have to in the best possible way. Jerry Cat says, "It's a whole new thing. It's a whole new thing for me. Never quilted or anything close to it even. Look, you're not alone. We have people here who watch the show regularly, watch the replay, hang out with us, who are not quilters. And you don't ever have to be one to really like revel in how dope the quilts are. I mean, they're just fascinating, and they're great. And if you like I won't put you on the spot, but like you could throw out something that like you're really into, be like, I love Chinese checkers. Is that a problem? I don't know. I've never thought about it. Like I love hot dogs. It's like 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon. Give me a thing that you're into, or give me like a place that you love or anything, and I'll find the quilts. Like I'll find them. I'll find some beautiful like artistic Andy Warholian like hot dog quilt made in the 70s. I'm sure it exists, and I can find it. And if I can't, the rest of the quilt nerds can. If you're into checkers, okay, well already I can show you a 9-patch block, and we can all play checkers on like a 9-patch block quilt. Okay, I mean, like there's so much, and it's just so much fun, right? And so if you hang around, I think that you'll see that you made a good choice. Okay, so here's the back of this book, right? Sorry, it was published in, that's what I was doing when I was distracted by an awesome new quilt nerd. This was published in 1996, and it's by Roland R. Freeman, okay? He's an important person, so if you don't have this book, you really have to get it. It's one of those ones that you really need to have. You really do. Don't walk, run, okay? It's out of print, so get it used. Okay, a landmark volume. A never before attempted comprehensive picture of the breadth and scope of the contemporary African American quilting community. Implicit in this unique compendium is a firm promise to the readers of countless pleasurable visits with the quilters. And that's from Questa Benberry, author of Always There, The African American Presence in American Quilts. We'll talk about Questa. And then the second quote is from the introduction by Questa. Let me just tell you this. I'm going to give you a spoiler. featured in this book. Maya Angelou, author Alice Walker. Who was the other? Faith Ringgold, of course. Rosa Parks. All of those people are in this book. And it's a book about quilts. So, and I have a picture of Maya Angelou coming up with her quilt, okay? So it's an amazing book. It's fabulous. There's never been anything like it. So you have to get it. Okay. So here's the deal. That's Questa Benberry, and here is her introduction. And while I read it, I'm going to flip through the pictures that I've scanned. These images are not from the internet. For the first time ever, these images that you're seeing are the corn sculpture quilt, totally. These images that you're seeing on your screen are scanned on my scanner at home in Chicago. Can you tell? they're kind of bad. But you know what? This picture of Questa Benberry, this ain't on the internet. I would have found it, believe me. She looks wonderful here. Questa Benberry passed away, I forget when. Maybe in the early 2000s. I don't know. Okay, so here's what Questa says. She's a famous quilt historian, famous, indelible, amazing. For the long-awaited book by Roland L. Freeman, A Communion of the Spirits, African American Quilters, Preservers, and Their Stories, great expectations were held. It was believed because of Freeman's coupled urban and rural childhood background, his attainment of premier status as an international photojournalist, his extensive collaborative documentation of African American folk life, his pioneer role as a major collector of African American quilts. No one other than he could have written this book. Would not the sequence of events that led to Freeman's absorbing interest in African American quilts affect profoundly both the methodologies employed and the substance of the text? These questions are answered, and the great expectations held are met in Roland Freeman's landmark volume. In the early 1970s, what did I say? Grandmother's Flower Garden, right? Did I not come through? I came through. In the early 1970s, while engaged on a Mississippi Heartland folklife project for the Smithsonian Institution, Freeman contacted numerous African American women in the region. I have an idea. Hang on. I want to come in a little bit closer to these women. Okay, cool. Great. It was only after he had established friendly relationships with these Southern black women that he became fascinated with the quilts that many of the women made. So he wasn't even going in there at first for the quilts. Thus, his quilt collecting course was set, one that he has maintained throughout subsequent years. Priority was given first to a study of the quilt makers, their heritage, their beliefs, their experiences, their associations, their environments. Later, upon consideration of the quilts, hang on, sorry. Okay. He always placed the covers in the context of their creators' lives. This is why, the people are in the pictures. There's pictures of the quilts without people, but not that many. It's always the people and the quilts in this book. It's amazing. Word and Bird Nerd. Okay, Word and Bird Nerd remembers Questa Benberry. Wow, I never got to meet her. That's amazing. She passed in 2007. 1923 to 2007. Hey, Rusty Cat. I'm so glad you're here. Hey. Oh, yeah. 2 a.m. baby time. Love that. I'm so glad you're here. M. Hicks butt dialed. Okay, that's okay. Okay. So as Freeman continued to build his African American quilt collection, he also entered into numerous. Roland Freeman is African American as well. I don't know. I feel like I'll say that. As Freeman continued to build his African American quilt collection, he also entered into numerous quilt-related collaborative projects. We'll go through these people's names again after. Okay, collaborative projects with folklorists, anthropologists, historians, artists, other academics, as well as with lay people involved in quilting. His associations with these collaborators made him privy to their different ideological interpretations, analytic theories, and perspectives relative to African American quilters and quilt making. Some of the insights he gained from these practitioners from multiple disciplines were frequently incorporated into his studies. So he's basically. Yet subsequently, when Freeman conducted his own African American quilt documentation program, his work was not merely a pastiche of his earlier collaborators' concepts. By the way, you see this picture she's holding here? Okay. I've got a close-up of it here. That's the family picture she has in her hands. And I've tabbed all of the pictures I'm showing you. I tabbed where I got them so we can learn more about those people. Yeah, I mean, I can read more about that photo if you like. Okay, so instead, Freeman developed a new, distinctive, and independent documentation project, unlike any hitherto produced. Who other than Freeman, this is amazing. Look at that bow tie quilt, right? I mean, let me just pause and say, like, tradition, it's just, there's no more fundamental quilt block than, like, the sawtooth star, right? That's what I call it. I mean, you could call it many things, but this one here on the left, like, well, that's an 8-point diamond. Okay, never mind. But, like, the star block, okay? The star block is... It's fundamental. It's like if you're baking a cake, you need eggs and sugar and flour and butter and chocolate and sprinkles. You need it. You need sprinkles. Well, but you have, to make a quilt, it's like you can do it with just, scraps, strips, whatever. You can do it with just simple patches. But once you start getting triangles involved, right, then it's like, forget it. You've got, like, just the possibilities are truly endless, and it's just wonderful to see. Yeah, this is simple, this is squares and rectangles, right? But then you start making bow ties and you start doing all these wonderful things. Okay. Okay, who other than Freeman, this is Quest of Benberry going on here, who other than Freeman, this is great, I love this woman, okay. Freeman, a cultural documentarian of the first order, has treated his African-American quilter subjects with such humanness, or valued the individual quilter equally with the quilt work produced, or offered proof of the enormous creativity and diversity within the Black quilt community on such a large scale. Yeah, I mean, this book is singular, right? Unfortunately, all of Freeman's dedication and stamina was needed when he embarked on the months and months long, this is interesting, exhausting journey that resulted in the publication of this book. He traveled thousands of miles as he crisscrossed the United States from the East Coast to the West Coast, to the North, to the South, and all through the Midwest to visit, to interview, and to photograph African American quilters and their quilt works. His objective was to present a never-before-attempted comprehensive picture of the breadth and scope of the contemporary African American quilt making community. That cathedral window back there, I mean, I've just seen that quilt 1,000 zillion times, It was all the rage for a while. Have you all made one? I mean, my mom made a few, like, cool vests, and they really are pretty cool, like vests and stuff with a cathedral window technique. They had parts of it, like there was like an apron or something she made with like a placket, some sort of like placket with cathedral window. It was like really, sorry, I'm not tired, but sometimes I just yawn. It was all the rage. But yeah, have you done it? Aren't these wonderful, Autumn? Totally. Oh, good, Mark, you got the book. I'm so glad. yeah, I mean, yeah, if you've done it, cathedral window quilts are heavy, lots of work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like a yen to make one of them. Maybe this peppermint quilt down here. I'm feeling that. Okay, hang on. So just a little bit more of her introduction for it. And then she's just like, I love this photograph so much. All of Freeman's dedication and stamina was needed when he embarked on the months and months long. Oh, wait, no, I read that. Okay. Yeah, okay. A communion of the spirits, African American quilters, preservers, and their stories represents the successful culmination of Roland Freeman's lengthy career. His monograph, singularly absent of the conjecture and cant occasionally found in other reports of African American quilt works, invites the reader to visit with some of today's most captivating quilt makers. The stories the quilters tell are as diverse as are they, sometimes provocative, other times amusing, frequently affecting, and always compelling. Through the lens in the hands of a masterful photographer, the photographs are really great. The readers will see an array of images of African American quilters nationwide and the exceptional works they have fabricated. Implicit in this unique compendium of African American quilts is a firm promise to the readers of countless pleasurable visits with the quilters. Quest of Benbury. It's really true. I mean, this book is packed. Okay, there's Maya Angelou. Look at that. That's Maya Angelou. Let me find the little piece about her. Okay, there's Maya. Here's another picture of Maya. I couldn't scan everything. Okay. So Roland like totally hooks up with Maya Angelou. I first photographed Dr. Angelou with a quilt that had been a birthday present from her close friend, television personality Oprah Winfrey. Who had commissioned it from New York artist Faith Ringgold. I'm eating my rotten potato chip. It's the green screen. It's okay. It's really weird. My green screen game is... I'm at like a C+. Yeah, so Oprah Winfrey gave her a Faith Ringgold quilt. This is not it. I mean, if you know Faith Ringgold's work, you know this is not a Faith Ringgold quilt, but let's go on. I also photographed her, Freeman says, with another quilt in her collection that was from Liberia. During the photo session, hang on, I know what I can do. Hide in plain sight. Oh, there, see, I'm at the party. Oh, I love your quilt. It's so great. I'm a big fan. Okay. During the photo session, Dr. Angelou commented on her fond childhood memories of quilting bees in her hometown of Stamps, Arkansas, and said, quote, if Linus has his blanket, black women certainly have their quilts. Okay. Interesting. Oh, wow. The next morning, we accompanied Dr. Angelou to church, after which she returned home to prepare for the party. She personally fixed tons of wonderful food for the party. I wonder what she made. Okay, so that's interesting. That chip looks awful. I know. So in Karen, look, I can't. It's the green screen. I tried to fix it. It was looking terrible, like really bad. The other part of it is like watching me learn how to do this. I mean, I have no idea. Trace over in YouTube land. I'm so glad you're here. Bow tie quilts. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like some of these traditional quilt patterns, I mean, they're kind of like, they seem a little bit like staid, you know, and a little bit, well, they can feel a little bit boring, but then they're really fun too, because these blocks, they just go like, they're like candy, you know, you just like fire them through your sewing machine so quick, and you can make, I mean, a bow tie quilt doesn't go out of style, you know, so that's something good. Like it seems strange, but like if I knew a college age kid, I actually do know a college age kid, I ought to make that kid a quilt, actually, now that I have my sewing machine. I don't have one in London, but I have one here. It's right over there. I mean, this kid is super cool. She's actually going to SAIC. And if I was going to make that kid a quilt, I mean, she's 19. I wouldn't make her like some like funky, like, oh, I thought you'd like this, like quilt with, I don't know, like funky fabrics. Like anytime you're like thinking about like giving someone a quilt that looks funky, like, meh. Like I actually think that to slam dunk that quilt, like a bow tie, a bow tie or a log cabin, you know, made with like, you know, with fabric, you know, like black and red and gold and, you know, kind of make it look like it was made in another century. I think that would be really well received. I think a quilt using like modern fabrics, like probably would not be I don't think it'd be as cool for that kid. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so okay, so now I have to tell you that this is Nora Lee Ezel, and I've got just so that's the end of the tour through that book for now. I mean, there's so much to talk about with that book, and one of the things I can pull out of it for now is a little bit about this person, Nora Lee Ezel. The caption here says she was recognized in 1992 as a master traditional artist by the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts Folk Arts Program, and she was awarded a National Heritage Fellowship. So I did the Garfield and Arthur quilt, right? I scheduled that for the intro quilt. And then, yeah, totally so demented. Hey, how's it going, by the way? And so then the weirdest thing happened. It happens all the time in this show where like there'll be this weird coincidence of some kind, you know? I mean, I can't remember. It's happened a lot of times. Of course, I can't remember an example right now, but like, I don't know, there'll just be this convergence, you know, this weird like singularity that happens from show to show. You see that quilt behind this woman, this one, this cathedral window-ish sort of variation, this one. So I'm looking through Communion of the Spirits. Oh, and I love this. And I first noticed this picture because, look, she's wearing quilt clothes, right? But she made that dress. And I love her socks. Like, everything about this picture is just totally, I'm completely here for it. Like, she's working it. So, and this, by the way, I'm just kind of looking at this more closely now. Look at that clamshell. Like, it's crazy. That's like this super shallow, like, narrow clamshell. I love it. I'm here for it. So she's fabulous here. Oh, and I talked about absolutely fabulous, didn't I, at the top of the show? This could be, you know, a Valentino or something, perhaps. But this quilt, I was like, I know that quilt. I know that quilt. I know exactly what quilt that is. And I looked it up on the International Quilt Museum search website. And indeed, I was right. And that's that. Now, you know you've been nerding out for a long time to see a quilt, you know, in a picture, in a book that you pulled out of your bookshelf. And you go, oh, I know that quilt that's hanging on a line, you know? Isn't that crazy? But that's it. That's it. And here's the information about it. Cathedral window variation made by Nora McKeown Ezel, Greene County, Alabama. It's signed. It's corded and stuffed. We can see a little bit more. I wish the color isn't fabulous on this picture. I feel like it's a little bit dim, but you can see that it's corded, right? It's 90 by 70. It was made in 1985. And that is the quilt that's hanging on the line. Yeah, Sue John, you're going to love it. You're going to completely love it. Raffle Waffle. That's like a 2-apple nerd alert. I mean, at least. I was kind of proud of that, actually. I was like, oh! Because when you really nerd out, you have to be a little bit proud of yourself. Okay, so that was crazy, okay? And totally awesome that the Quilt Museum has this quilt, because, I mean, this is a National Heritage Fellow, Nora Ezel. Okay, so there's that one. And then when I was at the Quilt Museum website, I was like, well, what else did Nora do? Because they have several quilts of hers. And there was this one, which is so great too, right? Gambler's Dream. Hang on. So this is made with ties. We haven't talked about tie quilts. We got to talk about tie quilts at some point. Look at all that. Isn't that great? Okay, let's see. SJ. Oh no, SJ, you are Ruby Star. You gave a quilt using Ruby Star fabrics. You are completely safe. I'm not just saying that. Ruby Star is like cool. Don't worry about it. I mean, don't worry about it. That, and by the way, I could be wrong. I could be extremely wrong. Like cotton and steel. I don't know what cotton and steel is like these days, because I know the girls who did cotton and steel, you know, that kind of collective moment is over if you know the cotton and steel story. But like cotton and steel, at their height, nothing got cooler than that, you know? And Ruby Star is like extremely cool. And Tula is cool, so like, don't worry about it. And also this particular teen I'm talking about is in art school, you know, is like, she's like very cool, like cooler than I even, like I'm stabbing in the dark to say that like I should make her a traditional log cabin quilt, you know, so I have no idea. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Gambler's Dream. I love the embroidery. I mean, the font is so cool. And she's got the little pips up here. So great. Yeah, okay, the full thing there. So that's Nora Ezell as well. And then there's one more from Nora. This quilt, which I saw this in person at the Chicago Cultural Center years ago. They had a small but really neat quilt exhibit. I'd have to look it up, what it was and when it was, but a few years ago. Yeah, and So Demented, you said I really love some more traditional quilts. Yeah, I mean, I realize like I get so excited seeing quilts in art galleries, and I'm really interested in the art quilt, the studio art quilt genre, you know, that period of time in the 80s and the 90s. I'm so interested in that. But I can't focus my interests in one particular area because then I miss all this other stuff. So this is, you know, one little bit of traditional quilt beauty that we'll look at. And I was also thinking about Bertha Stange. Do you all know Bertha Stange's work? You know, maybe we'll talk about her, maybe not tomorrow, but the next day. Anyway, I mean, those quilts are crazy and you know, extremely traditional, but they're also sort of arty. She worked in the 30s and 40s mostly in Chicago. Is that right? I think so. Anyway, so there's so much to see. And let's, yeah, art school cool is like, it's a whole another level, SJ, trust me. So then the last thing here, and then I've got something else. I've got something, I don't know. Let's see, what time is it? 8:34. I think I might, this might be the last thing that I share. Yeah, probably. Once again, I'm telling you, the singularity, the gift of this show kept giving, because also in Communion of the Spirits, this quilt, a picture of this quilt. And Lucy Marie Mingo is a quilter who's very famous. She is a Gee's Bend area quilter. Okay, so she made this quilt. And this is cool. And this quilt I've seen before too. And if you notice down here, it says 1966, collection of Diana Vreeland. And Diana Vreeland, yeah, Diana Vreeland was the editor of Vogue magazine for years, like in the 60s and 70s. I forget her exact, I don't know her actual time period of her reign, but I think up until Anna Wintour, is that possible? I don't know. But Diana Vreeland is a legend. Talk about absolutely fabulous. I mean, she was like, you know, cigarette holder and amazing and terrifying and wonderful. And I'm like, oh, I know that quilt. And I know that it's from Diana Vreeland's collection because of this picture that I saw in Vogue magazine. I mean, this is a picture that was featured in Vogue magazine. It's a terrible picture. I mean, look, I could teach a master's class on like styling quilts for photography. I've done it a lot, you know, and this is a very bad style shot. But that's Diana Vreeland's house. She bought a quilt, not from a museum. She bought a quilt, and she was one of many people who bought quilts from the Freedom Quilting Bee in the 1960s, okay? And the Freedom Quilting Bee, if you watched my YouTube video on myths in the American quilt story, the Gee's Bend quilts were not discovered by the Arnett family in the 90s, and they appeared at the Whitney Museum of Art in 2002, and they were this cultural sensation, and they're amazing, and we love the quilts of Gee's Bend, but there's much more to the story. And in the 1960s, the quilt makers in Gee's Bend were making and selling quilts to people like Diana Vreeland, Sister Parrish, the famous interior designer, Lee Krasner, wife of Jackson Pollock, and, the great artist Lee Krasner, who also happened to be the wife of Jackson Pollock, and Annie Albers. I mean, it's amazing. And so that quilt, 1966, was purchased by Diana Vreeland. It's wonderful. I wonder where it is now, Where is this thing? 63 to 71 at Vogue. Is that right, Myra? That seems like a lot less than... I mean, I completely trust you. It's surprising. I thought she was there for longer. She... Yes, there's a great documentary on her, Joyous Fibers. The Eye Has to Travel, I believe, is the name of that documentary. So anyway, great. And so, I mean, this quilt, this picture is not in the Communion of the Spirits book. This picture is in the Communion of the Spirits book, and I was like, I gotta go find that picture in my Google Drive of the Diana Vreeland interior, because that's what we do. We have a picture of that in, that's it, in our Google Drive. Okay, so let me think. I had one more thing, but you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I found this. Do you think this is attractive? Let me just see what, this will be fun. Let's play What's on Mary's Desktop. Yeah, Myra, she was a force for sure. What's on Mary's desktop? Oh yeah. Let's see. Was I working on my manifesto this morning very early? I was working on it. Let's see. Oh, coverlet shoes. Yes, overshot coverlet shoes, everyone, because when it's raining and muddy and you're in a city or in the country, what more could you possibly want than shoes made of coverlet material? I mean, yeah, like made in China slip-on shoes with irreplaceable overshot wool coverlet scraps glued possibly, perhaps, to the, I don't know, sounds good to me. I just love that. Sorry. So I found that. Let's see what else is on my desktop. Let's just take a look. Oh yeah, that wonderful. Oh yeah. Oh, how about this? Oh, this is great. This is great. This is a is it Balenciaga? No, let's see. Who is it? It's my God, it's so embarrassing. Bottega Veneta. Very, 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 very high end, right? I have a handbag. I don't use it because I just don't want to hurt it, so it's never seen the light of day. This is a roller skate made by the company. They make it in white and in blue, and it's called Quilt. That's the name of the shoe. There is no bit of nerdiness that I will not uncover. Okay. What else do I have on my desktop? Oh, this is interesting. This is very strange. Now, I am pretty good about labeling my pictures, but I have another picture of this piece of art that I have labeled correctly, but this is a back view that I haven't labeled, so I can't tell you who made it. But that's interesting, isn't it? Some sort of sculpture. This, of course, is going to be thrown into the mix for my fine art lecture at QuiltCon, which is, by the way, there's a show that I'm cooking up, a piece of content that I'm cooking up about that. Like, I have questions for you as the community. Like, I have questions for you about that topic. And I know we talk about fine art and quilts all the time, but I have very specific questions about, like, what should I talk about in that lecture? I was talking to Eric about it the other day, and it's like, I have so much awesome stuff to show people that has to do with quilts and fine art. And that's what the lecture is about, quilts and fine art, you know. And it's like, I'm going to ask some curators about this thing. I'm going to ask quilters about this thing. But it's like, and I have a lecture description and people have signed up for the lecture and, you know, it's going to be great no matter what. But like, what's my point? Really? What's the point? Why are we talking about quilts and fine art? What is there to say that's really, really meaningful? I mean, there's much to say about it, but I really want to make it good, you know? What else do we have on the desktop? Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit like I need some rest. What's that? Okay, well, I think I, oh yeah, oh no, I can't show you that. That's going to be an amazing intro quilt sometime this week. Oh yeah, no, I can't show you that either. I have some really good stuff on here, but it's all for you. It's all for you for later. Don't read ahead. Okay, everybody. Well, I think what I'm going to do is do this and do this. Yeah. Okay. It's great to see all of you always. Sorry, I'm catching up here. Yeah, oh, it does look like Patchwork Girl. Oh, he's like growing out of my head. Oh, man. I'm falling into the mist of the green screen. I love you all very much. I do. I just do. I'm not scared to say it. And I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. Happy Monday. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It's like a happy hour show. It's a happy hour show tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. Central Time. If you're watching the replay, if you're there in YouTube, I'm just so grateful for you. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Tomorrow, we're going to look at least one Christmas quilt. So, because we got to get into the mood. I hope everyone's chocolate